Were you expecting Reviewer Beware, who has pretty much abandoned his post to go talk about records? In fact, since I sneaked in his apartment and hijacked his entire room, I can tell you that instead of buying something good like Nickelback, Creed, or Limp Bizkit, he buys more trash. You know what? I don't even trust that man, that idiot, with this review. We are doing Night of the Living Dummy on Halloween with yours truly, Slappy. And, you know, before I got here, you want to see a montage of all the great home cleaning I've done for Reviewer Beware. Set to Vanity Contest, which is something Reviewer Beware will not be competing in. Welcome. This is Night of the Living Dummy on Halloween, my favorite holiday. So, basically, this is the book that shows off that R.L. Stine, formerly known as Jovial Bob, has comedic slapstick roots as well as scares in him. Although, if you ask me, the scariest thing about R.L. Stine is how much he dislikes canines. He probably is the one who enjoys filming all those sadistic and twisted Pound commercials that I will not proceed to make you cry at, because I'm not even that mean. So, ventriloquism, dolls, and mannequins have been considered a horror trope since the beginning of time. You can mention Chucky and Child's Play for a great example. And so R.L. Stine decided to give it a whirl. With me, Slappy. I'm real. Eat it. And this is the first Night of the Living Dummy, and the Night of the Living Dummy books, which usually feature me, are the greatest part of the Goosebumps series. And in the original 62, we got 3 of them, and this is the first one, as Slappy is definitely the greatest and most iconic and most special and most criminal character in the entire series. Basically, here's a little secret for you. I created the coronavirus in my lab. Do not tell the feds, please. So, my legacy obviously is fantastic. I have left behind a character that is recognized by all, and Revere Beware thought it'd be funny to be me as a Halloween costume, and that's why I decided to get revenge, hijack his apartment this Halloween, and basically hijack his entire YouTube channel, as I, in security, have stolen all of his entire accounts. So, generally, what is this one about? So, we have twin sisters Lindy and Chris, who probably want to kill each other more than Reviewer Beware's sisters. And I'll give R.L. Stine this. As sadistic as he is about dogs, he seems to think that these little kids are the greatest sociopaths because Lindy and Chris proceed to one-up each other, fight, scream, and be nasty to each other. When Lindy got me, the superior of the dummies, as opposed to that idiot Mr. Wood, you know, she just had to cash in and make a lot of money and get a lot of laughs using me. And Chris just had to use Mr. Wood to try and antagonize me and try and defeat me because of competition. And so, basically the premise of the story, as you can see these characters use their dummies trying to compete with each other, is eventually a bunch of horrible actions are done around the house, a bunch of dirty messes like the great ones I made in Reviewer Beware's apartment, as if he needed me to do that. He got one of his friends to help clean up his crap. A bunch of horrible, amazing, brilliant things start happening. You know, we got great gags like vomit and a bunch of spilled food everywhere, which just sounds like a drunken night for Reviewer Beware most every New Year's, until he has recently decided, for some reason, that being sober is more fun. Basically, what's great about these books is slowly, I'll give Mr. Wood credit, because apparently he got more of a priority than me, is that these dummies are causing a bunch of chaos and mayhem, and it teeters the balance between being funny and being scary. R.L. Stine has proven to be a hidden edgelord despite his comedy, as these books have a more edgy tone, and one of the greatest things about this book is right in the middle, they used me as a decoy, which I hate, someone likes. It's a very divisive Plot tool, of course, right in the middle of the book. We find out that it's all set up by Lindy to make Chris's life even harder until you read the words Carew, Marie, Carrie King, Carew, Marie, Adama, Lona, Milana, Carano, and then the real hijinks happens. Suddenly, the entire narrative gets a hard reset, and I appreciate R.L. Stine for going with the unconventional narrative structure. At first, he leads us into believing that the suspense is actually real, and then all of a sudden, it is. The first half, however, admittedly, the biggest problem, of course, besides me not being the biggest star in all of it, is the pacing felt a bit stinted at times because as we're dealing with these two antagonistic sisters towards each other, there's not really a huge plot progression. They're mostly sticking around the house, and I don't know if it builds upon each other as much, but R.L. Stine starts to build in the second half, right towards the end, that stupid mutt being choked out. That was hilarious. Obviously with the great twist that Mr. Wood obviously dies, and then I steal the show. I'd say most of the strength of this book comes in the second half of the story, because whereas the first half is trying to establish pace within itself, it does establish how the second half can build upon it. And it sets a huge tone for the trilogy later on, as progressively, besides me, instead of stupid Mr. Wood being in charge of it, I can basically do as I please and build off of it. I actually will say this, though. I think R.L. Stine gave Mr. Wood a little scarier elements, as they never even gave The First Night of the Living Dummy an episode, because apparently it was too scary. Boo-hoo! However, I think a lot of the scares, and a lot of the gags too, the vomit gag, just vomiting all over the class right in the middle of the book, that's hilarious. The sort of incidents where they have to basically deal with the fact that their parents understandably think they're completely insane, and there is no sense of belief within the entire book, because they're basically fighting against sanity, as the parents of course aren't going to believe them. Who's going to believe inanimate objects can come to life and kill people besides reviewer beware? I would say overall, this book was a great cultural foundation in the series. I think the book would have been perfect if I were doing most of the work instead of Mr. Wood. Who gives a crap about Mr. Wood? Who names themselves Mr. Wood? However, I'm going to say R.L. Stine's book definitely approves as a great foundational story. I did enjoy the ending twist of my appearance. I appreciate the elements of some of the rules he sets into place, such as how he uses those magic words that I'm not going to try and read again. Don't ask. And I appreciate that R.L. Stine strikes a good balance between humor and fear within this story, and I believe it is a great foundation to build upon within the series. Next time, you're probably going to have to see Reviewer Beware, who probably will participate in No Shave November, do The Girl Who Cried Monster, which is a garbage book because it doesn't feature Slappy. So therefore, most of the series is garbage because it does not feature Slappy. Thank you. This is Slappy signing off. I'm gonna go run over a dog on the way out of the apartment. Adios. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. Listen to Vanity Contest if you want. Punch Reviewer Beware in the face if you want. Like and comment on this video if you want. This has been Slappy, signing off.